This is my sad face. I wrote a very moany tweet this week about how miserable I am, that I've had about 5 red arrows in a row, maybe 6. People were very sweet, but it's been a little miserable. Oh, hold on, there's someone coming. I better go say hello to them rather than talking to myself. Right, sorry about that. That was actually my one dog walking friend, although she sadly lost her dog. I'm not smiling about that, but she sadly lost her dog last year. But yeah, I've struggled to make other dog walking friends because of this maniac here. Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at you. That's Oscar, and for those of you who haven't seen all my videos, he's a rescue dog, but he's not the biggest fan of other dogs. So as a consequence, is this all true, Oscar? Is it all true? It is true. As a consequence, we try and avoid other dogs. It means we're a bit of pariahs, dog pariahs in the village. But she was always very nice, so I thought I'd say hello. But yes, so I was saying I've had a miserable few game weeks. I've gone from, I think I was about 18k 6-7 game weeks ago. I'm now, I can't remember, 83. So it's just been a very slow, pitiful kind of demise. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I think that's happened, if there's anything useful to take from that. And then I was just going to talk about the game week to come, and also a couple of games I've watched. I thought that might be useful. Right, I'm just going to throw it down the hill for these dogs. It's one of their favourite things to do. Well, I hope it is. So, the thing that decimated my rank originally and did the main damage was the whole double game week debacle, Aguero versus Sané thing. We're not going to dwell on that at any great length. That's one of those things, and fair enough. But I think since then, the last 3 or 4, I've diagnosed it in a very simple way. I think my team has gone too template, or at least 2 templates circa 5 game weeks ago, which is even worse. So it's gone out of trend and stuffy. But the point is that I noticed that, you know, the games are kind of, you know, it's all very small margins. And, you know, if I'd made 5 or 10 points more in the last 3 game weeks, I think I'd be doing quite well. But, you know, it's just the small margins. I think the problem is that the people doing well are those people that have 1 or 2 people just outside that template. You know, Rondon or Barnes. Now that's a few game weeks ago when they were doing well, when they're now more template, I would guess. Share and other players like that, and it has been unusual players scoring in the last 2 or 3. So yeah, I think there is a case for just making sure at least in 2, 3, 4 positions, or at least 1 or 2, you're stepping outside that template and giving yourself the chance for gains away from the main body. So that's something I've learnt. So I've jumped on the Sterling train. I mean, he's barely not template, but I think he's a slightly better bet. So I jumped on him. I got rid of Salah, and brought in Mane as well. Slightly behind the times. I know these were guys people were jumping on a few game weeks ago, but I'm giving that a go. In the next couple of game weeks, I might have a think about how to maximise that as well. But you know, a lot's going to happen this whole free hit, double game week madness. Hopefully, I'll make some gains there. The other thing that occurs to me actually is that I've also had a shitty defence, and I've said for a while that the best way of getting points in this game is to build from the back. I've had that absolute fucker Pereira in there for 3 or 4 games. He's done absolutely nothing for me. And I notice a lot of the teams getting kind of, I got about 50 points, or 53 or something. And a lot of the teams doing better than me. some other people here. See how Oscar copes. Go on, boy, you'll be alright. Stick with me. Good lad. A lot of the people doing better than me had either 2 Liverpool defenders, of course, which was ridiculous this game week, or share or something like that. So that's something I can maybe do with that Salah money when I get rid of him. Plough a bit more into defence. I've got Doherty, Pereira, Wan-Bissaka, Bednarak and Robertson, and I think I've jumped on a few bandwagons there, and I think I can invest a bit of money back in. I think that'll be a strong kind of platform for me to kind of kick on and get some more points. Sure, I think it's a good bet. Maybe Louise. Anyway, I'll have a proper look, but I'm sure lots of lovely people can advise me on some more premium options, but I think I need to go premium at the back a bit more, and I think that'll be a good basis to build on as well. Right, so let's talk about Salah for a second. What actually made it, and I realised this could turn into a Kane exit moment, James Eggersdorf, when he famously went on Scoutcast and said all the reasons for dropping Kane, who promptly scored back-to-back hat-tricks. So yeah, I'm laying myself open to that. Fine, have at it, that's the risk. But yeah, what prompted my decision to sell him actually was watching the Man U Liverpool game. And I know he was kind of pocketed, as people said, by Shaw, but somewhere again down a hill, those dogs. But yeah, he just looked, and I saw the Bayern Munich game as well, and he just looks a little out of sorts. He doesn't look that happy. He's not clicking. He's losing the ball a lot. And I just think, when I didn't own him in the beginning of the season, which was turned out to be a good decision and did me well. I started off with a great rank. All I heard every game week was his XG is through the roof, the form is coming. Now even that seems to have dropped off now, which is really concerning to owners. He's still not bad, but it really does seem like a dip and a slump in form and confidence, which also tallies with Liverpool's current form. So again, moving outside the template, I just thought I'll give it a crack. And I've got money in the bank as well, so I'll find other interesting ways to use that. I'm not going to take a hit this week. But I wouldn't recommend anyone else to do it. It's probably a stupid fucking move. He's the most owned player in the game. We know how explosive he is. He's going through the blanks, but of course my strategy is to free hit in blank 31, so that's another way in which I might be able to maximise that, because I can always wildcard him back in. I'm going to give it a whirl. That's exactly as scientific as I feel about it. Give it a fucking whirl. What have I got to lose? Yeah, thanks for joining me, Oscar. So yeah, I watched a couple of matches. I don't have much to say on them. I watched Man U Liverpool, spent $8.99 from Sky for the privilege, and it was a bit of a duffer, wasn't it? I mean, quite kind of fun to just see those two come up against each other and see the odd complexities of that game with the injuries. Liverpool aren't firing. Now obviously they're firing against Watford now, so I'm slightly behind the times here with this one. But yeah, I'd be interested to see whether that's an outlier or a kind of, or heralding a new dawn. Yeah, but a bit concerning for Liverpool in terms of that Man U game. And Man U are hard to judge with the amount of players out, but it shows that there's some serious spirit in that squad, and I don't think anyone should be dumping any of those players anytime soon. I've certainly held on to Rashford through his 60-minute injury scare. Yeah, bit of hysteria, I think, in the group with everyone selling him off because doesn't seem too bad. The Burnley Newcastle game was interesting as well. Actually, it was not a free-flowing game. Very pleased that Newcastle got the win as a Newcastle fan, but it was a kind of hit on the break, kind of kind of performance for both sides, really. I mean, no one seemed that comfortable on the ball. Both felt more comfortable, I think, in their shape. But yeah, I mean, Rondon versus Barnes, neither came out of that with, you know, a great deal of credit. Rondon had one kind of header that flashed just past him. Barnes, I think, was fouled in the penalty area. Actually, Tarkowski had the best chances for Burnley. But look, I'm sure they'll keep scoring, but there was no evidence in that game. You know, Rondon's one of those players that I think has a big presence and brings in other players around him. I think the kind of outside pick is Almiron, who's their new signing, playing number 10, looks really good. And I think once he starts scoring, once he gets his first goal, I can imagine him doing something. It could be an interesting differential. Share, I mean, he's good. I think that goal was a worldie. He's not going to score those every week, but he bombed forward a lot. I think he's probably the best of the bunch, certainly from a Newcastle defensive point of view. Burnley, other people will know better from other games because I don't think this is their best. There was a guy on the left that did very well. Oh shit, I forgot his name. Hopefully it'll spring up like magic from here. But he looked their best outlet, actually. He played very well. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Barnes will keep whacking them in, but I didn't see any evidence of that in that game. But yeah, Newcastle defensively very strong. I think a lot of people were very smart when they got in Dubravka a few games ago. I think Share is a brilliant bet at the moment. Depending on how you feel they're navigating the blanks and doubles and how that fits in with your strategy, I would say of that Newcastle team, I would go Share in defence, maybe Dubravka. I'd be tempted by Almiron. I think Rondon's a fair bet, but I think he's going to score probably in fits and starts. Burnley, not hugely interested, but again, I'm sure Barnes and Wood and all that will keep ticking over. Wood had probably the best chance of the strikers. He had a volley that was very close in that might well have gone in had Dubravka not had great reflexes on it. So that's my take on that game. I sat through it for you all. Let me know if anyone has any differing viewpoints. Well, I think I'm going to leave it there. Bit of a drab affair, I know. Oscar emerges from another hill. But I'm a bit depressed about my team. Not depressed in real life, I hasten to add. I know a lot of people deal with these kinds of problems. It is just a game, and I can put it in perspective. But, when you spend a lot of your... I don't know if you can see anything there. When you spend a lot of your time and life and energy doing it, it's obviously going to take its toll. But we can put these things in perspective, and it's fine. But yeah, I'm not going to talk at length about my team. Sterling captain. If he does well, I will be running in the aisles, and you'll probably get a 3-hour-long video about his performance. If he does badly, you might not hear from me for a week or two. But yeah, high hopes. Next game week, we go again. Love to, I think, I'm now 84 or something boring like that. I'd love to crack top 50k by the end of the season. I think that would be a fair, and I think, of course I was riding high and it could have been so different, but at the end of the day, I think, I'd have taken that going into the season. It's something to build on for next season. I think I've learned a huge amount this season. So I'm going to aim for that. Anything above that, great. Anything below that, well, that's life. Good luck, everyone. Let me know if you've got any questions or comments. I'd love to field them. I try and cheer myself up a little bit. I've only got one dog here, but I'll say goodbye from him. Oscar? Oscar? Oh, he's looking at this ball. Oscar? Say goodbye to these lovely people. Lie down. Lie down. Right, see you later, lovelies. Nelly, where's that ball? Come by. Come by. Come by. Come by. You wait. Come by, Nelly. Come by. Come in. Come in. Come in. Hop. There it is. Look, there it is. Good girl. Good girl. Come on then. Good girl. Give. Give.